Alright, I'm starting out with a piece of maple burl. It is about 4 inches in diameter and about 4 inches long. So I'm going to make another small keepsake urn. And the reason is I sold 3 of them last week on my Etsy store and I need to restock. So I'm using the spindle gouge, getting it trued up, and then we will get a tenon put down on one end so we can grab it in the chuck. So yeah, I was quite surprised and happy that we sold 3 of them last week. So using the Easy Wood rougher here to make the tenon, and we'll get this put in the chuck so we can shape it and get it hollowed out. So on this one, I'm going to change the jaws here real quick. I'm going to use the low profile threaded rings, and the lid and the base, they're both out of the same piece of maple burl, but you don't need to line the grain back up on it. So I'm not going to do the separate little sleeves like I had done on some of the other ones. I'm just going to make the recess on the base and then the tenon on the lid. I'm going to get it shaped here, and again I'm still with the spindle gouge. Get all of it, just the basic shape down. And then I'm going to use the beading tool to put some beads around it and give it some detail. So it's a really nice solid piece of maple too. So that's the other thing too. If you're making like lidded boxes or urns or stuff like this where they need to stay the same size and everything, make sure it's a nice dry piece of wood. So this is the beading tool. I'm going to put 3 beads right around this part right here. And then we will set the ring in the top of this one. Help support the companies that support our community. I use the calipers to get the right diameter, and then I'm going to clean the majority of it out with the number 1 hollower here, and then I'll go back in with the parting tool to get the edge of that cleaned up. So on the threaded rings, they come in 1.5 inches, 2.5, and 3.5. So it's exactly 1.5 inches, 2.5, and 3.5. So if you want to use a Forstner bit, you can, or you can just do it freehand like this. It works out really well. Even if you didn't have them, you could make a 2.5 inch, recess in it, and then when you got them, they would fit right in. So I'm just getting all this cleaned up and sized perfectly, and to make sure that they go down in there, recess in just a little bit, and then I will get the rest of this all cleaned out. Now that I have it all hollowed out, I'm going to run through all the grits all the way up to 600. I'm going to use this end of it to expand the jaws and finish off the bottom. So I want to run through all the grits, get it all sanded up, and then ready to go. Once you have that done, just take it out of the chuck. I'm going to change the jaws to a smaller set, and then remount it on there and get that foot cleaned up. And again, I'm still using the spindle gouge on this. And I'm using a little bit of the tenon that I put on it as part of the shape as well. And on anything like this, whether it's an urn or a lidded box, you want to make sure that the bottom of it is cupped out just a little bit so it sits nice and flat. I'm using the Easy Wood detailer for that. After I got it all done, same process here, ran through all the grits all the way up to 600. Then we'll be done with the base. I'm waiting until the very end to put the walnut oil on it. I do need to glue in the rings first though. So this is going to be the lid, and it's about 3.5 inches in diameter and 2 inches thick. So a little bit less than the base. And I'm not going to use the whole piece of wood, but the majority of it. So same process here. You spindle gouge, get it trued up, and then get a tenon on it. So when I was cutting these pieces out on the bandsaw, I got them as, pretty close to round. So when you put it on there, there's not much turning to get them true. We'll put this back in the chuck and start making the tenon. You will notice that my shirt color changed because it's the next day. It ran out of time when we were working on the base. So this is the inner ring. So what you want to do is use the calipers and measure the inside diameter of this one. And so you're going to make a tenon on it instead of the recess. So, and the same thing with this, just like making the recess. Just take your time, go nice and slow. That way you can make sure it's a nice fit on there. You are going to put a little bit of epoxy on there, but you don't want it too loose. So this is the inside of the lid. This tenon and this lip right here will be on the bottom side of it. What we're going to do is get it all sized perfectly, get it cleaned up, start shaping it a little bit, and then run through all the grits on this and get it sanded up, because once you part it off and flip it around, you're not going to be able to get to any of this. And I just brought the base up just to test it and make sure it was proportioned right. So I ran through all the grits. again up to 600. Did the bottom there under the lip, and then right around the lip I sanded too, because it's going to be right up against the chuck jaws. We'll get it parted off, and then we're going to switch the jaws in the chuck again and grab a hold of that tenon and finish off the top. To shape the top of it, I used the #1 hauler again. Just have a nice, clean, smooth arc in it. Get it cleaned up and then run through all the grits on this. All right, to install the threaded rings, it's a Gorilla Glue 5-minute epoxy. I will put a link down below in the description to it. So I just use a little Dixie cup, mix it up, and then put a little bit on the rings. So just use a popsicle stick. I put it in a couple of spots around the outside. I'm going to say 4 or 5 different spots, and then set it down in there and twist it all the way around. That way the epoxy gets spread out evenly around there and you don't get too much oozing out the side. So less is more. It does not need much. So for the inside, you want to put the epoxy on the inside for the tenon. Same process here. Just little dabs around there. Put it in and twist it around and it will smooth itself out and get all the way around. I let that set up for about a half an hour and then went ahead and threaded the lid on. And so the reason I do that is because I don't want to get the walnut oil in the threads. So just a little bit of walnut oil on a paper towel, wipe the whole thing down. So because it does have those beads in there and I needed to get under the lip, I just took a Q-tip and put it down in there after I finished up. There we go. It is all done. So it is about 4.5 inches tall, and the wide part right there is about 4 inches. So put the beads on it. Nice little touch, nice bit of detail. It is just a beautiful piece of maple burl. So when you're doing something like this too, where you don't have to line a grain up, you don't have to, those little inserts are perfect if you're doing a straight grain piece where you need to line everything up. But if you don't, it's a little bit quicker. Yeah, we were pleasantly surprised. We sold three little urns like this last week, so it was very nice. So we need to stock the store back up. I did put the little Keepsake urn necklaces too. I put those up on Etsy as well. So little stuff like this, it sells really well. So if it's something you're looking to make things and sell them, maybe check into some stuff like that too. But fun little project, and they don't take very long. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Everybody take care, and we will see you next time.